going to keep this show real and raw because that's needed when trying to get our people off the street. Am I right, my people? Yeah. Am I right? Yeah. So this evening, we're actually going to take on the street life and ask the questions, are lack of fathers in the black household causing our black boys to seek out a family structure in the streets and gangs? And once a gang member decides to make a change, will the streets always follow him no matter where he goes? And is the late, great Nipsey Hussle a prime example of that? Once again, this is how we'll get down on Fox New World. You won't see this anywhere else. But before we get started, we need you to get involved. So for those of you watching at home, please engage with us by calling in 323-922-8513 or commenting in real time at foxnowar.com. You guys ready? Yeah! Let's get hyped, y'all. Good conversation. Let's get it. First, let me introduce our esteemed panel of guests. First up, Skip Townsend, an ex-Bloods gang member for over 27 years and now runs a gang intervention nonprofit named Second Call. We also have Lawrence Cartwright, and we'll be joined by Shaman Bennett a little bit later. All right, very serious topic, guys, and let's talk with you first, Skip. Let's talk about the kids and why they choose the street life in the first place.
I think you hit it on the nose when you talked about the father not being at home. For little girls, they always gravitate to their fathers, but for boys, they need to learn how to be a man. And if the father's not in the home, then I believe, well, I can only speak for myself. I went outside, and the guy with his shirt off had the gold chain, had the Cadillac, all his money in his pocket. He became my role model, and I want to be like him, and eventually I was. We met in '94. As he was coming out of prison, I was going in.
So you're out, you spent 27 years as a Blood. Lawrence, you're still technically in the game right now. Why did you join and why are you still in?
Well, this is to give you a difference real quick. Gang members, and then we got gang bangers.
Okay.
The gang members is more on the OYG side, the OG side that kind of already did that already, and is on something else. The gang members is the ones that's still in the streets doing what they do. I'm more on the member side. That's gonna always be where I'm from.
Okay, tell me.
So, what's the difference between a gangster and a gangbanger?
You can always be a gangster.
Right.
A gangster could be a gangbanger, OYG, a big homie. A gangster, that's just something that's in you.
Right. Yeah. So who do you look to when it comes to guidance at this age? You know what I mean? When things are going rough, you know what I mean? Because for me, when things was going rough for me and I was doing wrong things, I had people to pull my coattail, like Mike Conception. He would pull my coattail. You know what I mean? T. Rogers, he would pull my coattail. You know what I mean? Things like that. So who do you look to pull your coattail when that happens?
I got a big homie named G Weed and Big Zoe. Those are two people I look up to. But now I done, kind of been doing this so long, a lot of people look up to me.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And I guide people on the right route, the route that I didn't have, or the guidance I didn't have at first, you know what I mean, being hard-headed. So basically now, I'm guiding my little homies on the music industry. That's what I'm into, right? So every time that I have a studio session, they got a studio session. I'm paying for videos, beats, whatever, just to give them a different route than what we have.
And Skip is one of your mentors?
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course. That's uncle. That's family.
And what has Skip brought in your life?
Man, Skip made me kind of like see this thing at a different way, because the Second Call, when they was out here doing what they was doing and kind of like saving our community and saving the blacks, and really like, I came to Skip and nobody giving me no job, no nothing. When I came to Skip, he helped me fill out applications. He had a tutor that taught me how to take tests and all that, so
let's get Skip
You said, hold on, you said you've been in this game for a while, man. You look seriously young.
Yeah,
how
he
long
thought
have you been?
I was 21.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30?
Yeah.
How long have you been in the game?
Since about 12.
Since you're about 12?
Yeah.
Okay, 18 years. Now I always hear, look, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. I grew up in a certain neighborhood, but I didn't grow up in a gang-infested neighborhood. And there's a huge difference for anybody that grew up in the streets. I always hear gang members talking about, I'm lacking family, or the sense of family with the gang members. Does that mean that they're lacking something at home if they join the gang, when they say something like that?
Without a doubt. I mean, certain people grow up in a community. There are people in my community who never joined a gang, but when it was time to fight, they better fight or they're gonna get beat up.
Because why?
because they come from the same area we come from.
Exactly.
So, you know, certain neighborhoods have certain colors. One of my cousins, I had a red Corvette, and he refused to drive it because the community he come from wears blue. And he became a correctional officer. He never gangbanged a day in his life, but people gravitate to the community. So the community is actually a family and not a gang. The police called us a gang, so we accept it. I don't believe that's a gang member or a gang banger. Man, I know that's Summer's son right there. I know if he do something wrong, I'm gonna call his mama. She gonna whoop him. Fuck the I mean, forget the police. We don't call the police. We call their people mama, their grandmama. Hold him down. Let your grandmama whoop you.
So
see, that's what happens is it went all wrong when we accepted the fact that people want to call us gang members, and really we not.
Because a lot of people don't understand. Most gang members are dudes you just grew up with in your neighborhood.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't understand that, Mike. You know, so I want to ask you a question. What do you feel about the guys from different states, you know what I mean, claiming, you know what I mean, your neighborhood, and you never met them? You know what I mean? Like the Tekashi 6ix9ine talking about their bloods and talking about things about like their bloods and represent your neighborhood, but you are
Really
a guy
in the
that
streets.
that has guys that died in your
Right.
neighborhood, but
Right.
this guy's talking about bloods, but he never represents your neighborhood. So what do you feel about that?
It's different states that represent our neighborhood, but they represent it in the correct way. But when you represent in the way like he's representing
Right.
it, then that's what become a problem because just like you said, we got people that's dead for this, people that got life for this. And to let somebody with, I don't want to talk bad about the man,
Right.
but to let somebody with the type of
But we
style
gotta
that
keep
he
it
is
real.
Yeah, but
misrepresent us,
But what do you
we
mean?
not
But
feeling that.
okay, what is he doing to misrepresent you?
He's telling. That's first of all.
okay.
We're going to keep
So
that
number-
100.
Okay, all right.
How
This
long
is-
is the show?
Okay, no, you got
that
long
goofy stuff,
time.
all that goofy stuff that he doing on internet, that's not our style, that's not our swag, that's not what we about, that's not what we represent. So yeah, we ain't feeling that. He's missed the whole blood, and you got people like I'm gonna put it out the Soldier Boy. You feel what I'm saying? Kind of like misrepresenting us. You one moment you Bompton blood, next moment you from Atlanta. That's when we're not feeling that type of stuff. You never grew up in Compton. You ain't never been through what the trials and tribulations that we've been through. You ain't did none of this that we've been through. I can't sit up here and speak on what we've been through, but we really didn't live this life. So when somebody misrepresenting us like that, we really have
Can
a
I
problem
speak
with
on
that.
something
Yeah,
real
absolutely,
quick?
absolutely.
A story his mother tells me is she's getting her daughter ready in the kitchen in the window, and she sees somebody come by and drive and shoot her son. So she see him fall. She says, so man, they done shot my boy again. But then the guy get out the car and stand over him and try to finish him. His mother saw that.
Right.
Luckily, he turned his head and got shot in the shoulder and neck instead of in the head, and he's here today. Soldier
him?
Boy, yes, him
my
right here.
goodness. Wow.
So Soldier Boy and the 6ix9ine boy and all them, they have not gone through that. We're right across the street, the matter of fact, the dairy at the corner,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah,
dairy
yeah.
at the corner, I can't go to the dairy and think that these dudes ain't gonna shoot me. I definitely wouldn't send him to the corner.
Right.
So these are the things that they did not grow up in, and they wouldn't understand
They're
that.
not even
I heard
living
you
that
say
life.
some names earlier, T. Rogers and
Right.
other people, Mike Concepcion or
Right.
whatever. Think about what they went through.
Exactly.
Think about being the forefathers of this, what
Exactly.
they went through, and then want to give a credit to a Soldier Boy. I just can't
Right.
do it.
So
either.
when you hear these rappers glorifying gang life, and they're throwing up the colors and throwing up the signs, whatnot, and they're not really affiliated with you, I think a lot of times that might be influencing young kids who might not choose the gang life to get into the gang life. Are they sending the wrong message?
Definitely, they sending the wrong message because they think the rap culture life is gang life, and rap culture and gang life are two separate lives.
Explain that.
Yeah.
Now, rap life, you can get on the track and you can sit there and lie about everything you're talking about.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Ain't nobody tripping about it. Now, in the gang life, you lying about something, somebody go discipline you for that. You feel what I'm saying? We was taught to really be about what we talk about, so don't talk about that if that's not what you're really about.
Let me ask you something. You think a real gang member can be a rap star? Because from what I have seen, real active gang members really can't be rap stars because they so in tune with the streets. You know what I mean? Because I signed some rappers from the jungle. You know what I mean? And they were so active
Yeah.
that we couldn't get them in the studio.
You got a couple.
You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, you got a couple. You got Trey D from
Okay.
Long Beach. He is for real.
Right.
Trust me. Goldie,
Okay.
for real, from the East Siders.
You got me.
Yeah, okay, right here.
There you go. Claim that, Lawrence. I like
Yeah,
that.
I can only go back to old school.
We got a
whatever,
stage
but
over
you
there,
got,
too.
you know, you got the relatives, Big Y, and these guys back in the early days. They were on the streets, and they would say,
Ice-T, those guys, right?
No.
No, listen to what I'm
sorry.
saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, right. No,
Okay.
I didn't say that.
Okay, I'm listening. Hey, that's a misperception.
Yes,
School me,
indeed.
brother.
Yes, indeed. So there are people who would tell you, as a matter of fact, Dub C, as a matter of
Right.
fact.
Yeah, real,
So,
real.
And,
you
and
know,
I
those
like
are some
and I
real
like
people.
what he said about Big Y. Big Y transitioned itself
Real one.
and signed the dudes called Teach Me How to Dougie.
Yeah.
So I'm saying so.
Cali Swag District.
Cali Swag
Swag
District. So
District.
he changed his life and got in the music bit and signed some little guys that wasn't gangbangers.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
So
right.
it's a good thing.
All right, Skip, your other guest is here. We're going to bring him in. His name is Shaman. I'm going to bring him to
I
the
wouldn't
stage.
call him that.
I wouldn't call him that?
I would call him Lil AD.
Little AD? All right,
Lil
you would
AD.
bring, okay, let me call him Little AD.
Yeah.
Little AD, where you at? Come on through, man.
Hey, then
Yeah.
come to the stage.
Welcome to the show.
What's up, Lil AD?
AD,
How you doing,
Nice
man?
to meet y'all.
Nice to
All
meet
right, Uncle Skip. What up?
Little, he ain't too little.
Nah, he's a little one.
Are you a little one?
Yeah.
They all little to you.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about this, man. We're talking about the rap culture and we're talking about why people get engaged. We're talking about people coming from broken homes, and good homes. Sometimes if you live in a certain neighborhood though, do you really have a choice or not to join a gang? Because like you said, if you're walking through and you see everybody in that neighborhood gang affiliated, are you afraid to walk through your own neighborhood, or how's that like? Just help me out.
I never was afraid to walk through my neighborhood. Like, a lot of people look at gangs and just think, oh, they just gang members, they killing people, they do that. But a lot of gangs are like, that was your family outside of your family. Those are really like a brotherhood. Those are really
Exactly.
your family,
Right.
you know? So when I first like hopped off the porch, just because where I stayed at, people labeled me from there.
Okay.
To a point where I got tired of it, like, man, F it, whatever.
And
I'm
you
from
gonna
here.
join the gang.
You feel what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I joined, and it was already my brothers anyway, so that's what happened.
So
That's what it
really,
came about.
everybody from the neighborhood, all of us not in the gang. They might
Okay.
be from their neighborhood, but
Yeah.
everybody's not in the gang. You know what I mean?
Not everybody. Yeah.
Everybody's not in the gang.
Shaman, what made you join? Little AD, I'm sorry, my bad.
It's all good. It's all good. What made me join? It's my pops. It's from Mona Park, Compton Crip, and I was influenced by my pops. You know, I looked up to my dad. I had an older cousin, Baby Rob, from Palmer Block Crip. I looked it up too. You know, and I mean, it was like back in the days when I was growing up, cause I'm 38. So back in the days, it was like gang culture wasn't just about violence, and it was more black love and like a tribe, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it wasn't, you know, it was like a lot of love.
Yep.
A lot
Like
of,
all your partners having fun.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And then when something
exactly.
having popped off, y'all had to go get out.
Yeah, yeah,
There it is
yeah.
there.
38 years old, 30. These guys look young, man. They moisturize. Y'all moisturize. Stay hydrated, man. They say good black don't crack. That's good, man. Good black don't crack right there. You was telling me yesterday, we was talking about this. You said the different tiers, and I just heard you talk about the different tiers of gang life.
Well, you got shooters. You got all type. You know what I mean?
bangers.
You got you know the dudes that do a lot. You know, different tiers of different what they do. You know, you got some guys that's wannabes. You
Okay.
know, just don't do nothing. Just wear the flag, dress up, and look good. You know what I mean? For they set.
Party game members.
Yeah, what you call them again?
Party game
See,
members.
party
Game
game
members.
Yeah,
Okay.
party game members.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So when you look at it, is it like we hear so many and see more stories or more films about the mob, right?
right.
And how the mob is structured.
Uh-huh.
Gang life, could it be?
No.
Nope.
Can
Okay.
I say something real
Okay.
quick?
Yeah,
I'm
go on,
55
Skip.
years old. As you say, 38, 30, 55. It's time for me to retire. Who has my retirement fund? Who has my check?
Right.
There's no structure. There's no treasurer. Who do I go to and sign my papers so I can get my gold watch? So people want to say these as gang members. These are not gang members. These are children who have grown up to take on a part. But the part is to to be a part of that community and love that community and do whatever for the community. But there is no structure. There's absolutely no structure. Can you tell me the leader of the Pyru? Can you tell me the leader of the Crips? And the reason why they can't, I ain't even let them finish, but the reason why they can't is because there is no leader.
So, all right, so just help me explain this. Help me
It's
understand
a
this.
tool that the police use to give them enhancements. If he breaks in a house, he should get 2 to 4 years for breaking in a house.
Because he's gang affiliated.
No, because he broke in the house, he should get 2 to 4 years. But because that's little AD, he's gonna get about 18 years because he's a part of the rolling 60s.
Can I say this? It's like a lifestyle. You know what I mean? You growing up in your neighborhood, you know what I mean? And if your daddy grew up to be a Fortune 500 oil man, you know, you're going to grow up just like that. So it's just like that. You growing up around all your partners and, you know what I mean, you having fun and, you know, but it's not like people think. You know?
Well, forgive me for asking questions because I want to know.
No, please
And the
ask.
thing is, I think one of the biggest weaknesses that we have, not only as black people, is that we won't admit that we are ignorant sometimes. And the word ignorant is not a bad thing. It just means that you don't know. I would much rather be ignorant and ask questions than be stupid and walk around acting like I do know. So that's the reason I'm asking right now. So I'm hearing a lot of misperceptions
Yes, sir.
about gang life, about being in the gang, being affiliated with gang, or not even being in the gang, it's just part of your neighborhood. What's the biggest misperception you think that you hear right now of gangs? When you see on television, the things you see on television and mainstream media.
Exactly what you said, that there's a structure, that there's a leader, that these guys are going out to do illegal things together. If I lived in his neighborhood, if I was from Rolling 60s and I sold drugs, I'm not sharing it with the Rolling 60s. That's my drug money. I'm not giving up nothing to no one. Same thing in Compton. You know, living behind the gate or across the street from the park. I'm not gonna share with nobody on Lonez. I ain't gonna share with nobody.
That's how I survive.
No, what would I do that for? I'm gonna
they
keep
can.
it for myself. There. So the only time I'm gonna be with them is when it's a fight, or like he said, it's a party and somebody tripping. So now I want to help you. Are we going to school together? Or we go to the mall and they say, hey man, these dudes jumped me. Well, here I come.
Okay.
But that's it. I love them and we live in the same community, but that's it. I'm not giving them my money. You know, we don't have a structure. You can't come tell me it's a mandatory meeting. I'm going to punch him as soon as he say that.
Right.
Ain't no mandatory nothing. Tell me mandatory nothing.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say right now, what I'm loving about this so far is that I'm seeing somebody that's associated with Bloods, somebody associated with the Crips right there, sitting next to each other.
And that's another misconception. You know what I mean? Because you might have a cousin that's for a blood, and you might have a cousin that's a Crip. You know what I mean? I got out with Crips, Bloods. You know what I mean? If you was reputable and you was cool and you respected me, you know, we gonna be good.
Right, right.
You know, real
But that's what I'm
recognize
saying.
real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these dudes recognize real. You know what I mean? Because he know if a war go off, it's gonna be a lot of killing. You know, so and they don't want that.
Can I share one last thing
Yes,
real
sir.
quick? After Nipsey died, this is one of Nipsey's close friends. After Nipsey died, he's the young man who put that peace agreement together that was on Slauson and Crenshaw, where the world got to see over 1,500 people come together.
Let's
That
give him a
was
round of
because
applause.
and not finishing, I gotta say there's a young lady named LaTanya Ward. She'll really punch me. She could beat me up. She will beat me up if I don't mention that she was with him and helped do that. But Boogie here did the same thing in Compton. Using that as a catalyst, now there are groups, Crips, that have come together, came to the park. The guys who shot him have come to the park to sit and talk with them about bringing peace in Compton. So you got two of the youngest peacemakers right here.
Lil AD.
Lil AD, so tell us something positive about what else you're doing in the hood so people can know, you know what I mean, what you're doing, man.
I mean, actually, I don't know if y'all ever heard of View Park High School.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Before, I've been working there for 2 years, non-pay,
Wow.
helping all the black students, helping all the young kids, all the wannabe gang members, all the, gang members, teaching them that, this ain't the lifestyle y'all want. This ain't the lifestyle y'all need to choose.
I like that. Come on, give him a hand.
And I ain't got a dollar for it. I ain't got a dollar for it.
Every city ain't got a dollar for
You
it.
ain't got to, hey man,
Nah,
you
but
know
I don't
what?
want one.
You
I don't
know, it's
want
beautiful,
one.
man.
I do this from the heart.
You know what?
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Getting paid.
Skip, 27 years you were in,
Yes, indeed.
and now you're trying to help prevent.
I ain't trying.
You're doing it.
I'm doing
You're
it.
doing it. I like that, brother. You're helping guys stay out of the life.
Yes.
What went off for you? What light went off for you to make you say 27 years is enough?
Because they was trying to give me 40 years. When they gave me 40 with the L, I said 27 is enough. 27 years of being ignorant, as you stated, was something I could deal with, but I couldn't do 40 years in a cell somewhere in a SHU program. So I prayed to God, say, get me out of this and I'll never go back on Adams again. I'll stay on the freeway, I'll go around, I'll take La Cienega or something, but I won't go down my block no more. And what I saw was that my kids, I left my children over there. So my kids were imitating the same lifestyle that I was living. So once I got out, I got a hung jury. So once I got out, I came back and said, man, I got to help. I got to do something. There was a guy named Bo Taylor, and I used to run from Bo Taylor. And Bo Taylor got me into doing this work, and I've been at it ever since.
Was you with Jim Brown and Amir Akan?
Yeah, I was with the American
Yes.
program, Jim
Yeah,
Brown.
okay. That's who started
Yeah,
you?
Rockhead. Yeah,
Yes,
so
yeah.
it was
Rockhead.
really a guy named Looney, Ronnie Barron, who got killed not far from where the studio is. But it was his charm, charisma, and I was like, man, how you learn how to talk like that? And he said, stop running from Bo. Bo been trying to get you for years. So I ran to Bo, and Bo took me under his wing the same way I got these two young gentlemen under mine. And Bo gave me everything I needed to be able to help others.
You were facing
Yes.
40 years. Yeah, round of applause there. Yep.
And see, these are the brothers we don't applaud. And we should applaud them because they really trying to help the community. And I like what AD said, how he hasn't got a dime. And that shows a lot, man.
Right,
You out there
right.
helping people,
Right.
and you're not getting a dime. So I want to commend you, AD, man. Keep up the good work,
Yeah,
Playboy.
you'll be paid the right way, my man. You definitely will. When you try and leave the life, though, how hard is it? How difficult do others make it for you to leave the life?
I want to say it wasn't difficult for me because, as Lauren said earlier, I'm not leaving. I still am who I am, and I'm still from where I'm from. And if need be, I kick off to Stacy's and put the tennis shoes on and meet you at the park.
Okay.
So, but the only difference, I love my community, but now I want to be a positive influence in the community. When I show up, I don't have guns and weed and alcohol for everybody. When I show up now, I got employment opportunities. When I show up now, I want to help you get some shoes or food for your family. So now I'm bringing positivity to the community instead of the negativity.
And I don't, I don't think we supposed to leave our friends just because they're gang members. Because everybody I still hang around was former gang members, but they changed their life. I got my man Tone right there from the jungle. He's still, that's one of my men since we were little kids. So I'm not gonna leave him just because he was a former gang member, and they shouldn't either.
Right,
So,
right.
because that's not keeping it real.
Well, you're not going to leave them behind. Look, here's the thing. Once again, I'm the only one up here that hasn't been associated in any form or fashion with the gang. But I've been in the neighborhood, and I've had friends who did a lot of things. Locked up, murder, 27 years in prison, armed robbery. So I've been around that. I left a certain neighborhood, still went back. But there were times when I knew I couldn't be around them. So to your point, I understand what you're saying. When you leave a certain neighborhood, there are certain individuals, if they're still doing certain things and you're trying to move on with your life, you can't be around them. I understand where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. You're still your boys, still your loyalty. But at the same time, there are certain things, if they're doing something that you aren't doing anymore, it's time to step off.
Well, I agree with you to a point, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna shun my partner.
No, it's not shunning them, but it's like it's not allowing, as black people,
Right.
sometimes I think we have to realize that you have a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And I know I'm not gonna be real popular with this and make it seem like I'm not loyal, but if there's somebody that is bringing you down in any kind of way, your loyalty only goes so far.
Okay, so what I'm saying, I understand what you're saying, but if somebody says I'm going to shoot the drive-by,
Yeah, I'm not going with them. I'm not getting in the car with them.
and I'm not either.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to make a point. I'm not either. So I'm gonna say, man, don't go do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna try to send some positivity to him.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I'm still gonna try to talk him out of it.
I get that.
But I'm not with that, and I'm gonna let him know I'm not with that.
I
but
get that.
But at the end of the day, I'm gonna try to talk him out of it.
I
want
wanna
to share something real quick. So, you know, in my transition, Baby Shooter, Tiny Killer, Big Monster, Lil One Punch, they still come to my house, right? But I'm not with it. So am I gonna go, they say, man, we going to the store. I go in my pocket, pull out $5, get me a soda and a bag of chips. But I'm not walking with you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
That's
No,
what
I
I'm
still
saying.
love you, homie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be right here.
Right.
Matter of fact, don't come to the front of my house, come to the back so we can hang out in the backyard. You can still hang out, but not in the front because I don't want nobody to shoot up my house. I don't want the police hitting. So what'll happen is they'll see that I'm not around and they'll see that I'm not doing the same things and they'll be like, what are you doing? And I'm the influence. I never want to be the
And
follower.
that's exactly
so
what I'm
I want
talking
to
about.
influence them to do something positive. I'm never going to be influenced to get in that car.
Exactly.
I'm not, matter of fact, Baby Shooter want to ride, I'm going to give him a hug. And he's like, why you hugging me? Man, I'm checking you for guns, man. You can't get in the car with me.
Right.
You can't ride with me,
And that's all I'm saying is like, I'm not coming around that, but your friends also know not to bring it around
They
you.
know
Your true
now.
friends.
Look,
That's the bottom line.
Lil AD,
Okay, well,
Lil
okay.
AD wanted to say something. What do you want to say, Lil AD?
Prior to that, I mean, to me, you know, I look at it as it's just about who you are, you know, as a man. Because I'm not gonna never turn my back on my community, no matter how positive I get, no matter, even if it's a person that ain't with it.
Right.
I'm still gonna be, you know, because I'm the type of person, I'm a leader from where I'm from. So, you know, I can joke and be like, well, look like you're gonna be having your ass stuck around here for another 20 more years,
Right,
not
right.
doing nothing, you know, or, but you want to keep running from bullets.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and Skip is a perfect witness. Like, from all the gang members I was talking to, you know, the first thing I was asking them, that the ones that was saying, oh man, I don't know, I gotta go talk to my young homies and, you know, about this gang peace stuff. You got kids, right, bro? You love your kids? Like, do you want your kids to grow up like this? Because if you a real man, you ain't gonna want your kids to grow up like this.
Exactly. You're right, man.
You know?
You're right. Yeah.
So as Skip would tell you, I was hitting every gang member I talked to, Blood, Crip, my best friend, your best friend, his best friend, they best friend. You a man, you ain't gonna want this type of lifestyle for no kids no more.
And that's the message
know
you
what
should
I'm
put
saying?
out there, man. It's a great message. And let's not get it twisted. I ain't never turning my back on my community, on my people. I'm just saying that there
I'm
are
not
certain
knocking
things
you
I'm
for
not
what
going to
you
be
do.
around.
No, hell
Absolutely.
no. But me, I'm gonna go hands-on because this is what I want fully as a passion. So I
And
mean,
I respect that, brother. I respect that. We got a caller, actually. We want you to continue to get involved, continue to call in, and make your comments be heard at foxnoir.com. Caller, what do you have to say? Where are you from?
I'm from Compton.
Okay. What's your name?
So, Adriana.
Okay. Go ahead.
So my question is basically, you know, with the big venture of weed nowadays and it becoming, I'm not gonna say gentrified, but it's becoming mainstream. Like, how do you guys feel about so many people from the neighborhood being locked up for just petty weed? You know, just like for selling a dime bag or just having like a joint on them, and now it's like this big venture. Like what is your take on it?
Just petty crimes, you know, they're locking you up
You
for
shouldn't-
any
Weed
reason.
is legal.
Right. You shouldn't be locked up for no dime bag or anything like that. You know, like your little man said, weed is legal. You know what I mean? It's medical marijuana. You
Yeah.
know, you take it for cancer, you do all that. So I think they should let them all out. And I think a law has just been passed to let some of the guys who have misdemeanors out.
For
So
marijuana. Yep,
I think that's good.
It's illegal if you ain't paying those taxes though. They want them taxes if it's like sorry. So thanks for calling in, caller. Really appreciate that. You know the government want their money. They can make it legal, but they gonna want that money. You know what I'm saying?
You know, they
definitely
knew
want
was
that
gonna
money.
happen.
Let's talk more about this, man. All right, so when you leave the game, are you still looking over? Like you said, there are certain neighborhoods that you'll drive around. Like you're on the
That
freeway.
was my neighborhood.
Your neighborhood.
That's what I said when I got out of
Okay,
jail.
you drove around.
Right.
Why was that?
I drove around that neighborhood because I thought that I was going to get influenced to do things, to that loyalty you talked about. When somebody come to me crying, talking about they got jumped or somebody shot at me, I was driving around because I didn't want to be like, all right, come on, let's go. Let's go get them. So that's why I avoided them.
Right.
But once I realized that, man, I left my son and two of my daughters on that same block. I was like, man, I can't do this because my son was in 10th, 11th grade and he was acting just the way I was acting. So I was like, you know what, I gotta be a positive influence.
So the light went off for you. Lights, you guys are doing and making a big difference in the community. A lot of young guys don't want to hear it, right? There are some guys that just don't want to hear it. How do you get through to them? what do you tell them to make them get it?
Well, for my side, just like he was speaking about that you got kids or whatnot, and then you got a lot of youngsters, they hold a grudge and be like, well, they killed my homie and woo woo. And I have to tell them, well, you think the homie that died want you to be the one next that died the same way he did? Or the homie in jail, he probably not even gonna mess with y'all when you come home. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all ain't been giving me no money, no mail or nothing like that. You feel what I'm saying? So like when he get home, he gonna be on something different anyway. So as you worried about him, trust me, when we get this together and we had the ceasefire, he gonna be with it. You feel what I'm saying? If the homie that was deceased, if he was alive, he would be with it because times is changing. So you know what I mean? Once I come at him like that, and then I give them different routes from what they doing, you always got to give them different routes. You always got to, like say, if you got little homies that play football or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? You got, I got people higher up that play football that could put them in programs.
Right.
I got people in the rap industry. I got people that just want to do, that just want to be engineers. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Just for people that rap. I got schools that I can show them. You know what I mean? You just got to show them something different and they adjust to it.
Right. Is it sort of like being a convict? Like if you go to jail,
Yeah.
right? Get out, reform your life, try and get back out, trying to get a job. It's hard to get a job. So all of a sudden, those convicts who said they turned their lives around, they got to go back to the life because that's what's paying the bills. If you're in a gang,
They ain't got to. You could be like a truck
well,
driver or electrician.
There are some, but that's what they say. They use that as an excuse.
I
You know
get what
I'm
you're saying, yeah.
They use that as an excuse. They like, okay, well, I get out of jail, nobody's giving me a job, so I got to go back to the life because that's what's paying the bills for them. That's
What's
what
the life? Gang banging?
No, I'm talking about just convicts, it's selling drugs, whatever. In the gang life, so once you're gang affiliated, once they put you in prison, if they put you in prison, you go to prison, and you get out, and then you try and turn your life around and try and get a job. How hard is it for you to get a job in society once you're affiliated with a gang?
With me, I adapt to society. So when I got out, I knew that electricians and truck drivers, you know what I mean? They not really tripping off your record like that.
Okay.
So I got
Get
the
a
truck
trade.
driver trade,
Right.
then
Okay.
I got the electrician trade.
Okay.
So that's how I adapt.
But see, everybody's not a gang banger, so I understand what you're saying. If you a convict, period, you can go to jail for
Right,
robbing a
right,
bank.
right,
You
right.
know what I mean? You're not gonna get a job. Just because you're a gang banger, you know what I mean? That's not gonna make you not get a job. You know, so at the end of the day, when you are from the neighborhood, you got some people that look out for you. That you probably go to the guys that got some look. In your neighborhood that got something popping, and you like, man, help me out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Nipsey was trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Invest in
And-
it.
and- and he was doing it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And came to his demise on a hater. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
sometimes when you giving back, you know what I mean? Sometimes it can hurt you. Am I right, AD?
It can.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that actually, because we're still mourning Nipsey Hussle's death, and he left the gang life, was making a difference in his community, but his death was sad. So I always ask, man, how could something, we talked about this a little bit before, how could something like this have been prevented? Him going back into his hood, trying to make a difference, a positive difference in his community, and he's shot down by a gang member.
You can't never stop a hater. You know what I mean? If a hater want to get you, he gonna try to get you. You know, so it's very hard to, for that to be prevented from a hater. Jealousy kills, man. You know, it kills. So,
You know, if I listen to Biggie and Tupac, they said, keep your enemies close, watch your homies, and Biggie said it's the ones that smoke blunts with you, that see your picture.
Right.
Now they want to grab their guns and come and get you.
and so you can understand, most of the time your own homies kill you. Am I right or am I wrong? Most of the time your own partners kill you that know you the best, because you're not gonna let nobody that you don't know run up on you. You're not gonna let nobody run up on you don't know. Am I right, Skip?
I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. So how y'all feel about that? Kind of hard to talk about.
Sometimes it's deeper than,
What's difficult about it?
man, you could be trying to like really speak for your people and you got bigger enemies when you're trying to speak for your people.
Yeah, straight
Put it
up.
like that.
Yeah.
So is it hard to go back when you want to go back, like Nipsey was doing in that community, and make that difference? You guys are making that difference, right? You're talking to everybody. Is it hard knowing that you still have to look over your shoulder, wondering if my past is gonna catch up with me, AD?
I mean,
Or someone's gonna hate on me because of what I'm
in
doing?
regular life, I would advise anybody, not gang member, regular people, you gotta look over your shoulders, period, because this is a crazy world we in. It's not just gang members that's just doing violence. So that's what they
right.
promote, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, I advise every regular person in the world to always look over your shoulders, because you never know what's going on. But to answer your question, I mean, I'm going back to my community. I lost a real homie, I lost a brother, but I ain't gonna turn my back on my community. It's just gonna make us wiser and smarter, you know? Somebody like me and him, that got heart of a lion, we ain't going nowhere. You don't supposed to turn your back on your people. It's like the old saying said with the crabs in the barrel. If we all get each other out and we put that crab arm down, and we lift each other up, we can do it.
Unstoppable.
That's with any community.
Unstoppable.
What's the greatest satisfaction you get out of helping out now after you left?
The greatest satisfaction I get is when I see people successful. When I go to the Ram Stadium and I see all the killers, and I really mean the killers, the dudes who did 23, 21, 27 years, and they over there building the Ram Stadium. They at LAX, they're working. You know, as you said, it's hard to get a job, and it's really not. These guys are in careers, they buying trucks, they getting married, they purchasing homes. That's the gratification for me. And then what I always do is always take pictures. I get a picture with Crips and Bloods together, and I post it on Facebook, Instagram, make sure that everybody see that those are all misconceptions. These dudes is not only getting along together, but they working together, they eating together. So that's my greatest satisfaction, is to see people that aren't dead or in jail.
Definitely.
What's still the hardest thing for you to do to get to people?
The hardest thing to get to people?
Yeah, to get to them, to get them to understand. What's still the hardest thing?
Well, from my experience, trying to get people together, you still got a lot of ignorant people, you know what I mean? So one of the things I really attacked, like getting people together, was I talked to the youth a lot, because the older people, you know, they supposed to be on something different. The youth and the young was just kind of like still the ones that's running the hood, you know what I mean? Still doing the back and forth and really got the hood still going. So getting to them is kind of hard, because you know how you was thinking in your mindset at their age.
Right.
You know what I mean? My mindset, I wasn't trying to hear none of that. So the ones that actually listen is the ones I kind of like adapt to. And once they see how things have been different since the ceasefire been going on, then they kind of adapt to it. Like, you know what? Let me go and try this. And that's how we've been successful with it.
Is that surprising? Because, you know, these days kids are, you know, silly smart, man, when it comes to like the internet. It ain't like when we was growing up, when we have the internet, you didn't see what was going on in the world. You know, you're more enlightened, you're educated, you're seeing what's happening, and you know what that lifestyle brings to you. You're either gonna end up where? Dead
or in jail.
Jail. Or something's gonna happen. One of those two is it's a high likelihood that one of those two things is gonna happen if you stay in long enough. What's the third choice?
The third choice is being in that wheelchair with a colostomy right here, and it get hot, and you got everything, your urine and feces is right here while you can't move.
So that's even my point. You talked about, I mean, it's like, sometimes it just, and I'm trying to understand this, my brothers, please bear with me. Why is it when you see that and you know those are your options, why do you continue, or why do you even get in it in the first place? I mean, the money, you can sell drugs if you need to sell drugs with them. I'm not condoning that. You can sell drugs without being in the game. I understand you got family members, whatever, but why do you choose to do the things that gang members are doing that can do what gang members are doing that can lead to those options?
Hey, look, let me ask you this. You respect the Navy and the Army?
I was in the Air Force.
Okay. So, now, let me say this. Do y'all do right by going to take these people's lands? Because that's all really America it is bullies.
Speak about it.
You know what I'm saying? Real big. The Army, Navy, Air Force, they the biggest gang.
Oh, I can understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
I can totally understand that. If you look at that, the landscape of America and what they do in other countries or whatever, I'm not saying I condone any of that stuff, all right?
Now listen.
It's a choice.
I'm gonna ask you this. So, not nothing against you either, but you knew by going over there, right? You was going to kill people. You was going to take shit from people.
Rape women.
Some of your buddies was raping people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Leaving people hungry. But America, we glorify this, the Army and the Navy and it's the same thing. It's just in the neighborhood.
Right. Okay. But also, I'm not killing my own.
I mean, shit. Yes,
I'm not killing. Well, I'm not.
Time
Your,
out.
your opinion is justified. I understand where you're coming from.
I feel you now. Not honestly, I feel like you just got emotional on me.
No. You know, can I tell you something, brother? Can I tell you something? You know what? Why I'm emotional? Why I get emotional is because I love my people.
No, I do too.
I love my people.
Why you think we doing this?
I understand. I understand.
But let me say this:
Hey.
you can't. I understand you getting emotional, but if you haven't been through it and you haven't grown up in the neighborhood, you can't judge the people. And if you haven't walked through their shoes,
I'm not.
And
I'm trying to understand.
But what he's saying is that they're not just doing it for glorification and all that.
It's
They're
not there's no glory in having a colostomy bag, though, bro.
But I know it's not.
There's no glory in dying a horrible death. There's no glory in going to jail.
But that man don't want no colostomy bag. You know what I mean? He ain't asking for that, so he don't know he's gonna get that.
Nobody signs up to be the dead homie.
Exactly.
Nobody
Hey.
says, hey, look, man, I'll be that dude. I'll be the dead, or I'll be the homie in the wheelchair. Nobody signs up for that. This is family. So what happens is he has to go to school, and when he walks to school, he's walking with the people on his block. That's
Exactly.
what makes him from that neighborhood.
Right.
But he has to go to school, so that's what happens.
So
And
when
now
you
we're
go,
gonna
if
to
you
the park,
want to
and
go to school, you're in that neighborhood, and they say, like you said, come do this drive-by with me. You got to go.
If I choose to go when I was doing that.
That's what I'm saying. That's the choice I'm talking about.
but-
The other parts of you being in the neighborhood, if you're, once again, bruh, I'm just trying to understand all this
I'm
because
gonna make you understand. If somebody pop one of your partners,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna go pop his
now it's
ass
time to
back.
go.
Yeah, it's time
I'm
to
not
go.
going just because he
If
said let's
somebody
go.
pop my
Exactly.
partner,
If I
I'm
choose to
going
go,
to
you
pop
feel me?
him.
That's gotta
You
be
know what I mean?
somebody
By
yeah.
any means necessary. You're not thinking about, oh, I'm gonna have a colostomy bag. Oh, something's gonna happen crazy. No,
about
you're gonna go
revenge.
get down
So what-
because this is your neighborhood. These are your partners.
The Attorney
your
General.
family.
Yeah, man.
All right, who's in charge of the Army and the Air Force and all that? The Attorney General is it? Am I right?
Yeah.
Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Joint
Chiefs of Staff,
yeah.
right?
Shit, yeah.
Okay, so when they say y'all go over here and go mess with these Viet Coms that ain't did nothing to America,
That's even worse.
you feel what I'm saying?
That's even worse. You know what I'm saying? So if you going out there and say, go kill.
Excuse my language, I don't mean no offense.
But
to
no,
anybody.
you-
but listen to this.
no
You going to
racism.
Afghanistan.
Real talk, bro.
You
Yeah,
going to Afghanistan, and what they really going on there for the poppies. You know what I mean? To bring that hair round back.
Yeah.
But you know what they telling y'all? No, they did something to us.
Okay,
but they really ain't. They haven't really happened.
break it down. Then why? Let me ask you this. Then why are you trying to stop people from being in gangs?
So what I'm doing, I'm not trying to stop people from being in gangs. I never asked Boogie to stop being from Piru. I've never asked AD, don't be from 60s. What I want them to do is to be the positive role models, to do exactly what he's doing, to go and dedicate his time and life to tell his story to the youngsters so they don't follow in the footsteps of negativity.
Exactly.
If you're going to be from Rolling 60s, can you be the next doctor or lawyer from Rolling
up.
60s?
Straight up.
Can you tell people that... Can you tell people that I grew up on Slauson and Crenshaw, but look at me now, I'm a PhD or something? That's what I want. I want guys from Campanella Park to be able to be productive. I just don't want them dead or with the bag on or in the wheelchairs. But please love your community.
Yeah.
Let's
Straight
not move. When we talk about gentrification, let's improve our community and not move from it. I cannot buy the house my grandmother bought for $30,000. It's $800,000
Yes,
now.
it is.
So I cannot move back. I do not ever in life want to ask these guys to move or move their family away. Let's keep our community and let's keep the community safe. And that's safe by them having relationships. So the Rolling 60s and Capitol, that's just an address. That's all that is, an address.
Straight up.
Where can I find you at? Man, in the 60s.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, older ladies, my mother, if I tell my mother, hey, look, I'm being Compton, where? In the park, Campanella Park, she'll be like, okay, I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't saying mama be from Piru. I'm saying, mama, meet me at the park.
Right.
You know?
It's up to us to change our community too.
Exactly.
Because
Right.
You talk about Nipsey, well, let's say he's a gang member and all this. Well, Rolling 60 Crip did more for his community than any council member, any board member.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So
Right. You gotta take care of your own community. Like I said, brothers, you know, the fact that you guys are here talking about that, trying to make a difference.
We appreciate you too.
No, but educating because we
yeah.
need this.
For
This
sure.
is the real talk we're talking about having because there are a lot of misperceptions out there. A lot of people that believe some of the, look, if I didn't grow up in that part of the country, or I didn't grow up in that neighborhood or whatever, and all I'm seeing on television or what I'm hearing from other people, that's what I'm gonna take. So we need to hear more of these conversations in order to go out there and educate other people out there to let them know that it's not all that bad.
It's not.
It's not all that bad, once again.
Yep.
But before I let you guys go, because we got to wrap things up in a second, man, I just want to ask you because, look, obviously, you said you was facing 40 years at one time. Can I ask you what the charge was?
It was attempted murder, 2 attempted murders and a burglary.
Okay. And the light went off. The light went off for you. Obviously, you're sorry for that, in a sense, I guess.
So
Part of it-
I ain't do it.
Oh, okay. Well, you're sorry. You're sorry for.
You can't do that.
Oh, wait, you can't do that. He never did it. He never did it. Yeah, exactly. There you go. There you go. Hey, bro. I almost had you though.
On camera?
On camera, no. What's it?
After all that positivity you tried to get him, man. After all that positivity
Hold on.
you tried to get him.
You trying to get in?
No, bro. Hold on, bro.
Let it fly now,
The statute of limitations. But
with all fairness to my man right here, he ain't out here, so don't give him a hard
Nah,
time. He
man,
ain't from
he's a
here.
good dude,
He
man.
don't know he a good
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
You know, but he's trying to, my man's a good dude right here. Come on, he's a good dude.
Bro, I appreciate it, man. No, the thing is, it's like, I want to know.
Right.
I want to know, man. I like to be educated. I'm a person, I think that's what we all need to do as a people is educate ourselves. Don't just look at CNN and Fox News and everywhere else and let them, the talking heads, tell you what you need to be thinking. You need to get in those books. So somebody tells you something, still read. After I get off the set with you guys, guess what I'm doing? I'm going to do some research. I'm doing some reading. I'm going to find out so I can educate myself,
That's right.
so I can empower my people to be
That's
better.
right.
That's what it's about right there.
That's right.
But I got to ask you, Skip, you got any regrets?
Oh, yes, sir. I have a lot of regrets, man. I regret that I wasn't a leader when I was younger. I regret that I was following the footsteps, and you said somebody over here from Jungles. There's a guy in the Jungles who I used to look up to. He used to take his shirt off and be at Dorsey High School, have gold chains on, and I wanted to be like him.
Who was that? What was his name?
Big Dino.
Oh, Big
They
Dino.
call him
Okay.
Johnny Ball,
Yeah.
Johnny Ball's brother.
I know
anyway.
Big Dino.
Yeah. So I wanted to be like him. He had lowriders. He had all the girls and all that. And, you know, he didn't even know. Even in '94, he's coming out of Chino. I'm going in. And we there together for about maybe 2 hours in the reception center. And I still never told him, man, you know what, man? Growing up, man, I want to be just like you.
Right.
So I wish that my regret is that I would be myself and that I would have been a positive role model. So I could have stopped some of the foolishness back in the 80s and 90s instead of waiting until the 2000s to try to slow
No,
it down.
Skip, but you know what? You are a positive role model now, and that's what counts.
I'm real.
Yeah, and that's what counts. You know?
My man AD, I gotta ask you the same question. I mean, 38, I can't believe you're almost 40 years old.
Y'all look like kids.
I
Man.
know, look like a little
22, man.
baby.
You know?
Look, that's why they call him Lil AD.
Lil AD.
Lil AD. You got any regrets?
For sure. What's going on?
You done threw him off.
Oh man, hold on, bro. I didn't mean to throw you off. Hold on.
Nah, you good.
You got any regrets?
Man, regrets. Yeah, I do. You know, same thing. I could follow down the same road to Skip. I could have said, you know, I wish I would have known what I knew now. But you know what? Shit, man, I don't got no regrets, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all, man.
But see, AD, you here to talk about
Yeah.
it, and you still got a long life to live to make a change. So you know what I mean?
Because I got a good heart, and I mean, if you go around LA, I mean, honestly, I've been there for Bloods and Crips all around LA since I've been a kid. I always wanted to fight the bully. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, no, I don't got no regrets. No, I just now I'm just glad. you know, I'm on a whole different route though with it though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm glad everything I'm doing positive with these kids and these teenagers and anybody else, even some people that's older than me that I still got to look at and be like, nigga, if you don't wake up, stop running. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't got no regrets. No, I'm happy and thank you, Skip. You know, you my dog forever.
I'm interested. How did you get to these two? How did you reach these two?
I reached Boogie when he was younger. His mom and one of my friends, Monster, was real cool, and he had just got shot as a youngster. Not the time I'm talking about, but he had got shot. What was he, about 14, 15? He was 15 years old, track star, all that, and he
Paralyzed,
got shot.
one supposed to walk again, and ended
Wow.
up walking
Yeah.
again.
Really? Oh man.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing. That's a miracle itself.
and AD, I met AD. He had a run-in with the law, and he, like I said, LaTanya had called me and said he needed a letter. So I said, well, put him on the phone, and I told him, I said, man, if I write this letter, you got to build a relationship with the rolling 40s, man. You got to bring the 60s and 40s back. And he said, no, everything I love. He said, that's my idea, not yours. He said, I wanted to do that anyway. So that's when the relationship, I said, okay, so he got a good mind. He said, no, I'm not on that. I'm going to use my leverage, my name for everything positive. And I said, I'm with him. I'm not leaving his side at that point.
So. I love that. I didn't ask you if you had any regrets.
No, definitely not, because if I wouldn't have went through the trials and tribulations that I went through, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't be as wise as I am today. I wouldn't be able to give advice that I can give today. You know what I mean? So, nah, definitely not. No regrets.
I admire those answers because I'm one that believes that God don't make mistakes.
No, he
you know
don't.
what I
No,
mean?
he
What
don't.
you went through in your life is what you were supposed to go through in your life.
Straight up.
And it gives you life
I got some
lessons.
regrets.
You have life lessons.
You got to figure, I couldn't see, man.
Yeah.
I'm out in the streets, and I wouldn't wear glasses. And I went places I wasn't supposed to go and did things I wasn't supposed to do, and I couldn't see.
Yeah.
I got regrets.
Yeah. I mean, I done been shot 2 different times, so, you know.
Yeah.
It comes, you know, I've been shot 2 different times, so, you know.
Still
You
here
get
to
out,
tell your
it's still here
testimony.
to tell my testimony. Like, God don't make no mistakes, like you said.
Yeah, they don't make mistakes, man.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's just the Bloods and the Crips that don't like each other or whatnot. I mean,
Bloods don't like Bloods more
Yeah.
than Crips.
Crips don't like Crips.
People
Really?
think that just because I'm
Yeah.
a supposed to be.
once again, I look, I was not in a game. I'm trying to tell you, I don't know.
Hey, look, it ain't you. We telling this to the world because we on
we
TV.
talking to the world.
We need it to. This is what we're here for, bro. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. I told you, I grew up in a certain neighborhood. I didn't grow up in that kind of neighborhood.
You doing what you supposed to do.
Exactly.
You
I'm
know
a
what
journalist. I ask questions,
Exactly.
man.
Let's make
Exactly.
that clear. It ain't no
Yeah.
disrespect towards
No,
you.
no, no,
We
no,
needed
no.
you to ask the questions that
Exactly.
you asked. So
Bro,
we
I've
get
been
the
like
response
work.
that we gave. So
You know, I always tell people, don't get it twisted, though.
we
Not
appreciate you,
y'all
big dog.
You feel me?
Yeah.
We'll be, you know, we'll be going through what me and Skip and him trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
What's the different perception so people can understand, you know what I mean, about Crips and Bloods? People don't like Crips, Bloods don't like Crips. Tell them what you was about to talk about, you know, it just ain't Crips and Bloods fighting each other. You got
yeah.
Crips fighting Crips and Bloods fighting Bloods. Explain, touch on that.
You got, well, you know, we got Crips, don't like Crips. Then you got Bloods that don't like Bloods. You know, and really, in actuality, what for what?
Right.
A black we don't own,
shit don't mean
a
nothing.
color we don't own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We was misguided. We was all blind.
So, you know what?
You know what I'm saying?
Your analogy of the armed forces, it could actually be the same thing when it comes to that because sometimes we don't own this country.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we go overseas and fight. I'm not, you know, disrespecting the military. You know, I was in the military. I get
Nah,
you.
it's not no
But
disrespect to
a
me.
lot of times, like once you get, like you said, you're fighting for territory
Exactly.
That we don't.
that you don't
own.
own. Speak on that.
I mean, but
that's what I'm talking
can I
about.
say this one thing
Okay.
though? Honestly though, you know, we really fighting for survival. You know what I'm saying? It's survival with us. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not survival with the Army. It's not survival with the Navy. It's not survival with the Air Force. It's only survival when y'all go to these other countries. You feel me? But every day living and walking down the street, even if you're not looking for trouble,
So
it's survival.
listen, AD keep on speaking on the Army and this, but the original Crips and Bloods was the Democrats and the Republicans. They are red and blue.
Yeah.
For real. You know what I'm saying? For real. So, you know.
So how does it feel to be associated with Donald Trump then? That's what he's talking. He said,
No, we don't like Donald Trump.
he said you
No,
should
no,
the Republicans are red.
The Republicans are red. They the Bloods. You know
That's
what
just
I
an
mean?
example,
You know.
but, yeah.
So
Look
We
Donnie,
Donald Trump
you
K
know,
over here.
Drano,
Straight up.
your past. I'm just saying, look, you're a successful businessman now, man. You're
Trying
doing
to
it the
be,
right
yes.
way. Give people a message out there, man.
You know, just keep on striving for the best, man. Don't let nobody tell you can't do it.
That's
you know,
right.
man, I'm so proud of these young brothers right here, man. Lil AD talking about, you know, he's a leader. You know what I mean? Being a leader is walking away and saying, I ain't doing this no more, and look your brother in the eye and say, no, I ain't doing this, and have the courage to say that. Even if they say, you just suck. No, I ain't no sucking nigga. I'm out this and you doing some silly ass shit. You know what I mean? So I commend these dudes for stepping up and doing it the right way and trying to show the youngsters a different path. You know, so that's a beautiful thing to me. So I love that, man.
Awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
That's good.
Okay. All right, before I let you go, I want everybody here on the panel to leave the people in the audience, people at home, maybe a kid that's even thinking about joining the gang, somebody that's in the gang right now that may want to get out. I want you to give them some words of encouragement, some words of wisdom to reach them, to touch them, to make them to make the right decisions. Skip.
I would like to, but I would much rather talk to society who has labeled our children as gang members. And I would rather tell society that once people like ourselves change the mindset, the attitude, the behavior of the young people, what difference is it going to make if they still in the same environment that does not support the change, as he was talking about with survival? And then what difference does it make if society itself's perception does not hold a value of our young people and want to constantly put them in prison or allow them to be murdered unarmed, as just Ryan Twyman was murdered by the LA County Sheriff, shot over 30 times. So my message to society is, when are you going to value not only the work that we do, but our children?
All right,
Straight up.
all right. Help me understand that, like people, if, once again, trying to get it all together, if you're in a gang, aren't you in a gang? Would you just say like?
I'm not in a gang.
No,
I'm
no, I'm
from
saying
the
it's like,
Adams area.
I understand that, but you just said that the perception of people in society feeling like people are in gangs.
Right.
So I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to understand that part of it.
Right. So I'm from the Adams area. I'm from
Okay.
West Adams.
But
so
you're not. So you don't want people to say that
that
you're
it's
in
a gang,
That
because
it's a gang.
if it is a gang, then where's my retirement plan? Who is my big homie? Who got the money? Who I put in my work, man. I went to jail, prison, got shot at. I done shot back. So can I get my money
See,
now?
you identified in Los Angeles by your neighborhood.
Okay.
Where you grew up at, man? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I grew up off Adams and what's
Okay.
Where you grew up at? I grew up off Crenshaw. You're going to say over in the 60s.
Okay.
You know, where you grew up in Compton? Where at? In Campanella Park. So it's just like they say, where you grew up at? I grew up in Alabama. But Alabama don't have that.
Right.
You get what I'm
I got
saying?
you, I got you.
So it's just different. In different area codes in different states, we're just ran differently out here in Los Angeles. We're totally different. We're the originators. We just got a lot of flavor and style.
Well,
You know?
hey, I have been enlightened. I hope you guys have been enlightened. You guys been enlightened? Yes. I want to thank our guests with a great conversation, starting with Skip Townsend, Lil AD, Lawrence, of course. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your work that you're doing.
Thank you, brother.
Can you please let them know exactly how they can get in touch and how everybody can help?
It's real easy. www.secondcall.org. We're online, secondcall.org. We help people become electricians. The co-founder is a truck driver. You know, we're doing it. We're not trying. We are helping people get in careers all through LA.
All right, great stuff, man. Also, thanks to the audience and the viewers, and make sure you keep posting your questions and comments, and of course, tuning in to Fox Noir.